Hi class, it's Mrs. Latinsky, and today we are going to do another art project. This time we're going to study the element of art called space. And within space, we're going to study something called perspective. Perspective is important because it's what takes two-dimensional space and turns it into three-dimensional space. Have you ever heard of 3D? Well, today we're going to make 3D art, three-dimensional art out of a 2D piece of paper. It's pretty fun. I'm glad you can join me. This painting from 1876 by a French painter named Gustave Caillebotte. Painting's called Le Pont de l'Europe. In this painting, you can see perspective. What we have here is a very flat canvas that this painter did this painting on, but instead of it looking flat, it looks like it goes off way into the distance. Can you see this? And all the lines focus on going into the distance right behind this man, and this man's head goes way past there, even this line of the road here. Now pay attention to this red line. This line is very important. It has a name. No, it's not called the red line. It's called the horizon line. And the horizon line is simply the place where the sky meets the land. And this point is called the vanishing point. It's the place where pretty much everything vanishes. For this project, you're going to need your colored pencils, a regular pencil, a white piece of paper, and a ruler or something like a book with a hard edge that you can trace. This project we're doing today was created by someone named Tabitha Morgan. She's an art teacher, and she called it Sun Rays and Corn Rows. And this is an example done by my daughter Grace to demonstrate this. What we have here is we have different rows of vegetables and crops that are growing. And up here we have, remember the name of this line? This line right across the center, it is called the horizon line. When we put a paper on its side like this, when it's wide at the top, that's called landscape orientation. And we're going to use this because we're drawing a landscape, which is a scene outside. But we're going to draw that horizon line. Now, if you draw your horizon line up here, that means you're only going to have a little bit of sky. And that's okay. That's your choice as an artist if that's what you want. But if you move it down here, you could have half sky, half dirt. That's up to you. I think I'm going to put it somewhere roughly in the middle. I'm also going to create that vanishing point right in the middle there. Now I'm going to take my horizon line and stick it straight through that vanishing point, just like that. And I'm ready to do a 1-point perspective because I have one vanishing point right there. Now, how many crop rows are you going to have? Well, that's up to you. But the way to create a crop line is to create a straight line from the vanishing point all the way to the edge of your paper. And it needs to be either the bottom corner is a great place to start. And what we're going to do is create a kind of triangle, actually. We take our ruler, we can draw a line from the vanishing point all the way to the corner, just like this. And you'll see how we create a triangle right now. Are you ready? Look at this. We created a triangle. Now we could stop here and make a farm road right here. This could be a farm road right here that goes off into the distance. We could have fields on either side. And this could be a country road if we really wanted to. We could put little lane markers down the center of our road just like this. But if you don't want to do that, you can also make this just another row of crops like this. You can do a line straight down the center, just like that. So this way we could have 1, 2, 3, 4 different kinds of crops. You can make as many lines as you want, but make sure they all start with that vanishing point and they go off to the edge of the paper. You could even put one over here. Like that. You could slit this right in the middle. You could bisect that line. Now I'm going to make sure I connect this one to the vanishing point, and I'm going to go up a little higher on this one. There we go. Right on the vanishing point. Okay, look, I have lots of space to plant lots of crops. Now, we have a sunshine, and the sunshine's really up to you. You could put your sunshine over here if you really want to. I'm going to put it in the center, just like this, because I want to create some sun rays. This is a bit more advanced, so don't feel like you have to do a sun ray if you don't want to. But remember, always stick to the vanishing point. Lightly draw it like this all the way through, just like that. You could do another one to this corner. And it's really up to you how many sun rays you do, just like how many corn rows you do. And even though the woman who created this idea called it sun rays and corn rows. This doesn't have to be corn. It can be whatever kind of crop you want. You could fill it with flowers. You can fill it with vegetables. It's up to you. Fill in some dirt here with a brown pencil as the base of your field. So these are going to be potato plants. Now I want you to notice something. I can fit more potato plants in the row as we go. And as they get further away, they should look teenier. Because when we look off in the distance, things that are farther from us look smaller, but when they get closer, look at how much bigger my potato plants are getting. They also lose some of their details as they get further away and don't look as detailed. Now mine are just little blobs. Maybe they're more like cabbages. I don't know what they are. We'll call them cabbages. Further away you are, you're not going to see the distinguished individual cabbages as much. So we're going to blend them a little bit, and they're going to separate out as they get further away until we have really big cabbages. Now I really liked what Grace did earlier, where she did her little stream. I like that, or a little irrigation ditch. So I'm going to take the side of my blue pencil, and I am just going to fill that in through here. And you know, water has a little bit of movement to it. I might give this water some kind of ripples to show a little movement towards the distance. The roses are going to be so thick here towards the end, it's going to look like one clump of roses, lots of red. You can hardly tell where one rose bush begins and the other one ends. But up here, it's going to be much more distinct, and we're going to see individual rose blooms. And roses are kind of fun. You just got to kind of swirl them. Now I think I want to do some corn. Now corn up front is going to be really tall. Now it's time to draw some corn. I'm going to add some details of little pieces of corn in yellow, but for the most part, you're going to see the individual stalks of corn closer to us, but as the further you get away, it's going to look like a big old blob of green. Now let's add some trees. Just right here on the horizon line. Nothing fancy. A little green. I'm going to put some apples on them. Here's some more dirt. I'm going to add some plants in here. I love zucchini. These are going to be big old Jurassic zucchini plants. As they get closer to you, they're going to be huge. More trees. It's an orchard. Here's some more apples. Now it's time to think about our sun. Is it going to be sunrise or sunset? Your call. You can choose what color your sun is. Let's do some sun rays. I chose some orange mixed with red and yellow for my sun. And the sun rays work the same way as the crop rows. You just take a ruler from that vanishing point and go all the way to the edge of the paper. You can highlight it in orange or red or yellow. I'm just filling in that sun with some more color. Closer to the sun, I like to do a darker color like the red. So in each of those little sections, I'm doing some red. Sorry if it's spinning on you. And then I'm going to go out a little further and hit some orange, blend that in carefully. Overlap it a bit so it looks like they just sort of move into each other. Lay your pencil on its side so you can get a light layer. And then the next layer out is going to be yellow. I'll overlap that even more. It's going to go out to yellow. And finally, blue sky. It'll hit the yellow a little bit. All the way around. I'm going to take the yellow and blend over all those layers so it looks like they all kind of go together. And there you have it. We have our corn rows and our sunbeams, and we created a one-point perspective. Thank you so much for doing art with me today. I hope to see your art projects. Please share them, and I'd love to hear what different crops you chose to use and how your different lines show that you created a kind of depth, how you made it look like it vanished off in a further distance.